Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube channel. Hope all is well on this Sunday or whenever you're watching. We're getting back to our heavyweight championship tournament using Title Bout Championship Boxing. And in today's matchup, sound check is good. In today's matchup for our heavyweight tournament, we have Ezzard Charles versus John Tate. And this is bout 24 of the tournament, scheduled for 15 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. The bouts will be simulated using Title Bout Championship Boxing. The boxers were drawn using a Google number randomizer for all bouts. We will avoid fights that actually took place to the best of our ability, and in the first round, none of these bouts actually took place. A list of boxers is provided below, and a link to boxrec.com. You type in the boxer's name if you'd like to know a little more about their history. Or you can search the web on your own. Alrighty, let's get to the matchup and enjoy. This is Ezzard Charles versus Big John Tate. Ezzard Charles, with a record of 95 wins, 25 defeats, 1 draw, and 52 knockouts. Majority of those losses, a great deal of those losses came at the end of his career. His trainer is Ray Arcel, Cutman Freddie Brown. All fighters in the tournament are in the prime of their careers and tip-top condition. Let's take a look at Ezzard Charles. Ezzard Charles, the Cincinnati Cobra, will weigh in for the bout at 190 pounds. He stands at 6 feet with a 73 reach. Charles won the vacant World Heavyweight Championship with a unanimous decision over 15 rounds, defeating Jersey Joe Walcott June 22, 1944, defended the title 8 times before losing via KO in a rematch to Walcott. Charles defeated such fighters as Bob Satterfield, Rex Lane, Tommy Harrison, Jimmy Bivens, Cesar Brion, Joey Maxim, as I said, Jersey Joe Walcott, Lee Oma, Nick Baroni, Freddie Bashor, Gus Levinovich, Joe Batsky, and Archie Moore. Ezzard Charles was probably a greater light heavyweight than heavyweight. Never got a crack at the light heavyweight title, though. Let's move to his ratings. Fighting inside, 3 out of 4. Fighting outside, 4 out of 4. Covering up and going for the knockout, 2 out of 4. He clinches at a 70. Drawing power, 9 out of 10. Was a very popular fighter in the day. Intellect and proficiency at what he does, 10 out of 10. Control factor versus a boxer, he's an 11, and versus a slugger, slightly better, 12. Solid chin, and usually gets up from knockdowns. Aggressiveness, 7. Endurance, 10 out of 10. Defense, -4, which means 4 punches taken off the total of his opponent. Hitting power, not the biggest hitter. He will throw punches, and he likes to counter, likes to work off the jab. Overall Title Bout Championship Boxing rating, he's an 11. Let's move on to Big John Tate. 34 wins, 3 losses, no draws, and 23 knockouts. Big John Tate represented the United States in the Olympics in 1976. His trainer, I assigned his trainers, Jesse Reed, and his cut man is Tommy Gallagher. Big John Tate from Knoxville, Tennessee. 6'4", 225 pounds for this bout, a reach of 80. He will be the bigger, stronger man with the pop in his fists. That's his one hope, to land a big punch, hurt Charles, and try to take him out. Otherwise, it'll be a long night for Big John Tate. John Tate won the vacant WBA Heavyweight Championship with a 15-round decision over South African Harry Coetzee October 20th, 1979 in South Africa. He lost in his first defense to Mike Weaver in a fight that he was winning with, I believe, it was about 30 seconds to go, and he got starched by a left hook and knocked cold and unconscious from Mike Weaver. He won the bronze medal in the 1976 Olympics. He would fall to Teofilo Stevenson, the great Cuban amateur. Stevenson knocked him out in the Olympic Games in Montreal. Big wins came over Gerry Coetzee, Kali Notzia, both South Africans, Johnny Boudreau. That was a controversial split decision. Bernardo Mercado, he stopped. Dwayne Bobick, another former Olympian, he stopped. And Lou Essa. Big John Tate is a pure slugger. 2 out of 4 fighting on the inside. Fighting on the outside, 1 out of 4. Covering up, you can hit him when he's hurt, 1 out of 4. He likes to throw the big punches and go for the KO, 3 out of 4. Intellect, he does get discouraged at times, only 4 out of 10. But proficiency, once he gets going, he goes well, 10 out of 10. Control factor versus a boxer, 9 out of 10. And 9 out of, actually it's more than 10, but he's a 9. And control factor versus a slugger, an 8. Endurance, that comes into question. He's only an 8 endurance. Defense, 4 punches are added to his opponent, as you can hit him all day, all night. He likes to work off the jab and land that big right cross. His overall rating, 5 in Title Out Championship Boxing. All right, on to Yankee Stadium, where this pugilistic contest will take place. And let's check ringside to see who is here at ringside, the Illuminaries. And at ringside, we have JD. Wonderful channel. Check that out. JD's at ringside, reporting for his channel. The original Grognard, OG. Another good channel. Zoe Cunningham's at ringside. Thank you for coming by. And Alan Shaw will be reporting from across the pond, our correspondent at ringside. Alan Shaw, big boxing fan. All right, so we're at Yankee Stadium. The announcer is Michael Buffer. The referee is former heavyweight contender Randy Newman. The 3 judges: from England, Mickey Van; from the United States of America, Larry Hazzard; and from Puerto Rico, Tony Perez. It's scheduled for 15 rounds of boxing. I will have nothing to do with the strategy for either fighter. I will just give you my radio call. Remember, folks, this is a sim. In a rare incident stoppage, it will be a draw unless 50% of the bout is scored, and then they will go to the scorecards. The scoring will be done by 3 judges. It's a 10-point must system. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect, and the mandatory 8 count is in effect. You can never, ever, ever be saved by the bell. The referee or ringside physician can stop the bout. Ezzard Charles has a control factor of an 11 versus a boxer, and a 12 versus a slugger. So it will be a 12, as Tate's a slugger. Tate's going to struggle in this fight, dictating the terms and the pace. As you can see, Charles can fight as either a slugger or a boxer, so it's going to be interesting to see what their corner does. But either way, he will have the advantage dictating the pace and the pace of the bout. The one advantage Big John Tate has, that punching power. 61% to 38%. Endurance, defense, hand speed, and tactical skills all fall to the Cincinnati Cobra, Ezzard Charles. Ray Arcells and Freddie Brown are in the corner of Ezzard Charles. For Big John Tate, Jesse Reed and Tommy Gallagher. We are at Yankee Stadium. Randy Newman, the referee. Mickey Van, Larry Hazzard, and Tony Perez are the judges. The ringside expert for Title Bout Championship Boxing is Mike Hansen. Let's go to the center of the ring, as fight time is here. Ezzard Charles and John Tate approach the center of the ring. Randy Newman gives the final instructions. It's a good stare down for both men, as they stare right into each other's eyes, and not lovingly. Randy Newman turns to Ray Arcel, Ezzard Charles second, and says, "Any questions from the Charles corner?" They say no. Newman now turns to Jesse Reed. "Any seconds from the Tate corner?" They say no. He says, "Touch gloves, gentlemen. God bless, and come out fighting." Now let's just take a quick look at how Ezzard Charles will fight. They're going to have him as a slugger. I would not have done that. Because even though his control factor will go, it's more difficult for Tate, that being a slugger, but you're going to be in Tate's wheelhouse. I would have fought as a boxer. That's what I would have done. Let's see. Ezzard Charles, the overwhelming favorite. Both fighters in their corners. We await the bell for round number 1. And here it is. There's the bell. Both fighters off the stool. Center of the ring. And Tate right away with a 1-2-3. Rattles Charles with a right hand. Now they tie up. Charles trying to move away. Tate pursuing. He's going right at him. Tate measuring, but not throwing. A left hook and a right cross by Tate. Tate is trying to overwhelm Charles. The smaller man, Tate, is all over and pushing Charles away, trying to get distance, trying to land that big right hand. Under a minute 30 to go here in round 1. It's been all Big John Tate. He misses with the go-home right. Under a minute to go. This is Tate's big opportunity. He lands a thudding right cross. Charles is in trouble. 30 seconds. Charles holds on. Tate pushes him away. Under 30 seconds. Tate trying to load up, trying to measure. 10 seconds in round 1. They tie up, and there is the bell. A huge round for John Tate. Unbelievable. Jesse Reed told him to go out and bang right away, and that's what Big John Tate did, the man from Knoxville, Tennessee. And he landed thudding right cross after thudding right cross. At the end, Charles was covering up, holding on. And that was a huge round for Big John Tate, the former Olympian from the 1976 Olympics for the United States of America. And Ray Arcel and Freddie Brown are trying to revive their man, Ezzard Charles, in the corner. A huge round. Randy Newman was looking in. Oh my, look, a big surprise. I mean, this is what John Tate has to do. He's the bigger, stronger man. He has to land those thudding right hands. That was the moment. That was the opportunity. Let's see if he can follow up. We now go to the Ezzard Charles corner, and a lot of concern by Ray Arcel, the legendary trainer, and the legendary cutman Freddie Brown. They're just trying to revive him now, saying stay away, in and out. They want him to throw his punch. They do not want to stand. They do not want him to stand there. But again, that's why I would not have chose slugger. The computer chose slugger. I would have chose boxer. You're in the wheelhouse for Big John Tate. The only way you can win this fight, and it's still a difficult way to win, is to land the thudding right hand. And he did over and over again in round 1. I don't know if Ezzard Charles can survive this. Tate's got to jump on him right away again. We now move to the John Tate corner. And Jesse Reed is selling, Big John, you got him, Big John. Don't let him rest. Don't let him rest. Don't let him tie you up on the inside, John, he's saying. Push him away, get distance, and let the punches fly. Let's go to the scorecard, unofficially, of course. I give that... oh, man, I didn't set up my scorecard. Well, we're going to do an impromptu scorecard. I'm going to give that a 10-8 round. I normally don't do that, but that was such a dominant round. So I'm giving it a 10-8 round. Let's go to the unofficial scorecard. And Mike Hansen gives it 10-9 for Tate. I give it 10-8 for Tate. Very impressed with Big John Tate, the former Olympian. We move to round 2. Before we do that, let's check out some punch stat numbers for both fighters. Tate just opened up. I mean, 27 punches landed. As Randy Newman was looking on, very concerned. Ezzard Charles never got a punch off. The very first combination that Tate threw, he landed and hurt Charles. Both fighters off their stool. Tate very quickly off the stool, showing tremendous enthusiasm. Charles still looks a bit groggy. Here's the bell for round number 2. Charles is going to stay on the outside, try to work behind the jab, and Tate's going to look to counter. Charles lands a 1-2. Another 1-2. Charles moving side to side. Misses with that jab right hand. Tate letting an opportunity go by here, I feel. Way too patient. Looking for that big right hand. Again, Charles beats him to the punch with a 1-2. Another 1-2. Charles just picking apart from the outside, landing, moving away. And now on the inside lets his hands go. Once again, he's opening up. Now it's John Tate not throwing punches. Tate seems hurt. Under 40 seconds to go here in round 2. Charles just peppering him with combination after combination, working off the jab, moving away, slipping and sliding. This is the Cincinnati Cobra at his best. Charles has him hurt. Tate ties up. Unbelievable. Ezzard Charles rallies. He stays on the outside, banging away. And then when Tate was being rat-a-tatted like a piñata, Charles stayed on the inside and ripped punches to the head and body and hurt him at the end. What a huge comeback round. And I'm giving that 10-8 to Charles. It's all even up on my scorecard. A huge round for Ezzard Charles. Tate never was way too patient. He wanted to counter. I don't know, I don't agree with that, but that's what he tried to do. And Jesse Reed, none too happy in his corner. He said, we wanted you to let him come to you, but you didn't let your hands go. And they're trying, just as they were trying to revive Charles in round 1 in that corner, the same thing's going on in the Tate corner. Let's quickly go to the scorecard, the unofficial score, Michael Hansen, and he gives it 10-9 to Charles. It's 19-19 after 2 rounds of pugilistic battling. You go to Ezzard Charles, a much happier corner there. Ray Arcel and Freddie Brown, jubilant in that corner, and telling them, that's what you got to do, champ. Work off the jab. 1-2s, 1-2-3s, in, out, side to side, hands up, frustrate him. Don't stand still. Don't stand in his punching range. Stay out of that sweet spot. We move to the John Tate corner, and Jesse Reed admonishing his fighter. Say, come on, Big John. Let your hands go, Big John. Just like round 1, we gave it back, John. Tommy Gallagher gives Tate a swig of water. Jesse Reed just tell him, let your hands go. Hit him with that thudding right hand. So my, how the world has turned. Round 1, big for Tate. Round 2, big for Charles. We approach the start of round 3. We go to the punch stat numbers. Ezzard Charles, holy cow, used John Tate as a human punching bag. Randy Newman, if it wasn't Randy Newman, this fight might have been stopped. He landed 54 punches. That has to be a title bout championship boxing record. I've not seen 54 punches landed. Tate landed nothing. Nothing. He was in cover-up mode in survival. The fans are on their feet here at Yankee Stadium. If one thing, Charles might be a little arm-weary from punching Tate so many times. Here's the bell for round number 3. Both fighters off their stool. It's Charles who quickly gets to ring center and lets his hands go. Tate moving backwards. Charles moving forward. Charles again lets his hands go, landing to the head and body. Tate looking to come off the ropes. They tie up. Newman breaks them. Just over 2 minutes. Charles measuring side to side, hands up. A 1-2 there by Charles. Again, moving away, looking to land that counter right, the Cobra strike. Tate ties up again. Tate already looks defeated. You can see it in his eyes. 1:15 to go here in round 3. Charles, a little arm rear. He hasn't picked up the pace. Under a minute to go. He misses with that 1-2. Tate comes back with a countering left hook. Charles 1-2-3 on the inside. 30 seconds. Charles again lets his hands go. Tate moves back, pushes him away. 15 seconds. Tate walks into a counter right hand combination, and there's the bell. He ties up. That's the end of round 3. Another good round by Ezzard Charles towards the end, nailing him with a combination and a good right cross, and Tate tied up. He was hurt. Ezzard Charles is in chopping tree down mode now against the bigger man. Charles giving away approximately 30 pounds in weight. We go to the Charles corner. A very calm Ray Arcells. Freddie Brown, a little grease around the eyes. Gives Charles a swig of water. Arcells, the old boxing adage, like chopping down a tree, son, chopping down a tree. A few more rounds and he's ours. We go to a very concerned Big John Tate corner, and Jesse Reed just trying to motivate him. Big John, come on, Big John, let your hands go, like round 1. Like round 1, John, come on, like round 1. John Tate went for it in round 1, and then when he could not duplicate repeat the same feat in round 2, he seems to have turtled. He got hurt early in round 2, and he was battered again in round 3. And my God, we could give that another 10-8 round, but I'm not going to. I don't want to give everything 10-8 rounds. We're going to go 10-9 Charles. It could easily be another 10-8 round. And let's actually, we might change that once we see the punch stat numbers. Alan Shaw says 10-9. I believe that's for Charles. He has a 28-27. As Ron Juckett has joined us at ringside. He says 3 extreme rounds. Yes, they are. Good point by Ron Juckett. Check out that wonderful channel, reporting for Retro Sports Network. Also, Dale Longsdale and D. Scott Howard at ringside, as we have many luminaries from our wonderful YouTube community. Dale Lonsdale asks a question. When did they switch to 12-round championship fights? It was in the 80s, mid-80s. They should go back to 15-rounders. Had nothing to do, well, a little bit to do with the health of the fighters. It had more to do when boxing was still on TV a lot. It would break into the news when they showed it on Saturdays. All right, let's go to the traits. Actually, scorecard first. 10-9 Charles for Mike Hansen. I agree. He has it 29-28. He has it 29-28. I have it 1 point for Charles also, but I had 10-8 rounds instead of his 10-9 rounds. And Alan Shaw has it also 28-27 for Ezzard Charles. Let's go to the punch stat numbers before we begin round 4. As Ron Juckett says, many rounds of extremes. Charles landed 36 punches. Tate, 6. 3 crosses, but nothing really on them. More of a defensive variety, trying to keep the swarming Ezzard Charles off him. Charles, beautiful movement. But when he gets on the inside, he's now ripping his punches and getting away. We move to round 4. The crowd is enjoying this fight at Yankee Stadium. There's the bell for round number 4. Again, Charles quickly off his stool. Center of the ring. He lands first. A quick 2-punch combination. Again, moving away. Now he jumps on the inside. He's going to stay on the inside. Billy goat to Billy goat. Tate and Charles going head-to-head, but it's Charles who's scoring. Tate is being smothered. Charles letting his hands go. He's just rat-a-tatting, snapping Tate's head. Newman looking on. Ezzard Charles just continues to rip to the head and body. Tate is a human punching bag. Tate is not responding. Newman, right hand, but nothing on it. He landed flush, but Charles just took it. Big right hand misses by Tate. Charles comes right back. Tate trying to push Charles back. Charles lands again on the inside. 35 seconds to go. Charles rips shots to the head and body. Under 20 seconds to go here in round 4. Charles seems a little winded, and a 1-2 combination by Tate at the end. But a big round for Ezzard Charles. Tate came on slightly at the end. He landed a 1-2. And Ezzard Charles might be a little arm-weary from all the punches he has thrown and landed on Big John Tate, the man from Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's quickly go to the scorecards. And after 4 rounds of boxing, I once again give that 10-9 to Charles. Charles does seem in complete control here, but he's towards the end of round 4, he seemed a little arm-weary. Unofficial score, Mike Hansen gives it 10-9. So he's, after 4 rounds of boxing, he has it 39-37. I have a similar score. Again, I have 10-8 rounds in there. As Ron from Retro Sports Network reporting from ringside says, Tate took off after the first round. I think he went for it, Ron. He went for it, and he almost had it. JD says 10-8 for Charles. You could give that a 10-8 round. Alan Shaw, 10-9. He has Charles up 38-36. All right, let's go to the Ezzard Charles corner. Ray Arcel, again, that old adage in boxing, chopping down the tree. Just keep working, keep working. When you're done throwing your punches, don't stay in the sweet spot for Big John Tate. Freddie Brown, a little end swell work on Charles's eye, but nothing to really report. Nothing out of the ordinary, just the normal wear and tear in a pugilistic contest in that corner. We move to the John Tate corner, and Jesse Reed trying to find anything to motivate his boxer. As there's 22% swelling on the left eye, as Tate has just been a human punching bag. He did rally in the last 20 seconds. He did throw some punches. Bubba Husky has joined us from ringside. He says, John Tate's story, one of tragedy. Yes, it is. Very sad. Big John Tate. So Tommy Gallagher's working on that eye, trying to bring the swelling down. And Jesse Reed pleading with his fighter. Do you want to go on? Tate sort of nods yes. Reed again asks him, do you want to go on? Tate nods yes. He says, and throw that big right hand, son. Throw that big right hand. You need to starch him. We prepare for round number 5. Let's go to some punch stat numbers. We always like punch stat numbers. Another beating. That easily could have... you know what? Now I'm looking at the punch stat numbers again, because these are scoring the points, how they're scoring the points on it up top. And JD's not far out. You know, that is a 10-8 round. I mean, 66 punch, to 12. This fight is due for TKO soon, in this announcer's opinion on my radio call. Ezzard Charles right off his stool. Tate very slowly off the stool. You can see that swelling on his left eye. Gallagher doing yeoman's work in that corner, though. Here's the bell for round number 5. Could it be the beginning and the end? Tate very slow in the center of the ring, just pawing. Throws a 1-2. Charles easily misses and counters. Charles going to try this. Oh, and Tate caught him with a nice left hook as he was coming in. Charles and Tate trying to push him off. Throws a 1-2. Charles comes off the ropes with a 1-2. They're going to stay on the inside. This could be to a detriment to Ezzard Charles. They tie up Tate, the bigger man, but a lot has been taken out of Tate. Those punches missed. Tate was able to smother him. Tate comes back with shots to the head and body. Now Charles comes back with shots to the head and body. Again, Charles with a 1-2. Digging to the body, up to the head. Again, they're standing, working hard on the inside. Tate misses. 25 seconds. Charles just workman-like performance on the inside. That's a good left hook. Tate is hurt. His left eye's getting worse, and there's the bell. Randy Newman was looking on. That was a better round for Tate, but not enough. Not enough at all. And there's a lot of concern in that Tate corner. And let's check out endurance. His endurance is all but gone. And you can see Ezzard Charles still full of energy and pep. That one round that Tate threw everything into round 1 and battered Charles, but never put him to the canvas. And Tate is going to struggle the rest of the fight. I don't know how much longer it's going to go. As Charles supremely confident and his corner's confident, they're telling him to stay on the inside and fight with a much bigger man, as he's just letting his hands go. Unofficial scorecard, 10-9 for Charles. He now has it, Mike Hansen, unofficially for Title Bout Championship Boxing, 49-46. I'm going to give it 10-9, but it's going to be interesting to see the punch stat numbers. Charles way out ahead in my card. Alan Shaw has it 10-9, 48-45 for Ezzard Charles. JD has it 48-44 for Ezzard Charles. That first round, I really do think the computer went for it with Big John Tate, which is a decent strategy, to be honest with you. I still don't agree with Ezzard Charles, the sim strategy of fighting as a slugger, but it is working out. But again, Charles, a heavy favorite. The only way Big John Tate was going to win was to hit him, hurt him, and knock him out, or TKO. We go to the Ezzard Charles corner, and they just say, keep working the body. But Charles, supremely confident, not a braggadocious fighter, but just confident. Ray Arcel tells Charles, you're doing great, champ, doing great. Freddie Brown gives him a swig of water. Charles spits it out. We go to a John Tate corner that is in frustration. That Jesse Reed again imploring his fighter, John, do you want to continue? John Tate nods his head. That swelling's gotten worse. It's up to 36%. Tommy Gallagher, a very fine cut man, working on it, trying to keep that swelling down. You can see him push that end swell. He's pushing that end swell, trying to push that swelling away, trying to keep that eye open. Randy Newman now comes over. He asks Big John, how you doing? John says, okay. As we prepare for round number 6, and I feel, this radio announcer feels, the beginning of the end for Big John Tate. As, again, you can see the endurance. John Tate's all but out. Punch stat numbers. Another hellacious round for Ezzard Charles. It is punching bag practice. He landed 42 punches. As he was busy on the inside, he did get tagged with 11, but Tate's not been able to land another big blow since that first round. Charles off his stool. Tate slowly gets off his stool. Here's the bell for round number 6. Charles quickly to the center of the ring. And John Tate hands up, trying to take the round off here. And pursuing as a smaller man, Ezzard Charles, he lands a very good 4-punch combination. And again lands a quick 1-2. Tate not throwing anything, just absorbing. Another 1-2 by Charles. Tate misses with a countering left hook, and he eats 3 punches on the inside. Charles boring in, staying on the inside, working the body, now up to the head. A minute to go here in round 6. Tate has landed nothing. And he gets nailed with a right cross. His knees buckle. Charles is on him. He is swarming him. Newman looking on. That eye is worse. Randy Newman looking. Charles loading up again, and he nails him on the eye. And there's the bell. A 10-8 round. I'm giving that 10-8 to Charles. Round 6, 10-8 to Charles. Randy Newman, I don't know how much longer they're going to let this go on. I do not know how much longer. We go to the John Tate corner first and foremost. 54% swelling on that left eye. And when it's like that, in reality, that's about a slit. He's having a lot of difficulty. Randy Newman's over there. He's asking, how many fingers do you see? Tate acknowledges 2 fingers. Now he acknowledges 3. Newman says, I'm not going to let it go on much longer. Jesse Reed says, you got to show me something, son. You got to show me something. Alan Shaw, 10-8. Charles. JD, 10-7, Charles. As Ron Juckett, paraphrasing Ron, I think he's saying he hopes Tate got paid well for this beating. We move to the Ezzard Charles corner. Ray Arcel says, just keep chopping the tree down, son. Just keep chopping the tree down, champ. We're going to be going home soon. Freddie Brown saying, great work, champ. Great work. But again, always telling him, don't stay in the sweet spot too long for Big John Tate. He might land a lucky punch. They're not saying that, but that's what they're sort of implying. Scorecard, unofficially, 10-9, Charles. Mike Hansen now has it after 6 rounds of boxing completed. 59 Charles, 55 John Tate. He only took a big round 1. Since then, it's been all Ezzard Charles. Stamina gone for Big John Tate. Ezzard Charles, very fresh still. punch stat numbers before round number 7. 48 punches land. I mean, again, human punching bag stuff for John Tate. He is standing up to the punishment. He only landed 6. Nothing on his punches anymore. The bigger, stronger man has been turned into the bigger punching bag. JD questioning the ringside expert on his scoring. And here's round 7, and slowly Tate comes off his stool. Charles trying to get on the inside. Tate on the inside. He can't move anymore. His legs are gone. Charles lands first. Tate ties him up, tries to force him back to the ropes. Charles will have none of it. Again, forces him to the ring center. Tate misses with those punches on the inside. Charles dipping and diving. Again, Tate ties him up, tries to pull him to the ropes. Charles pushes him away. The smaller man is now the much stronger man. Both fighters throw, but Charles had the back punch, and Tate comes back with a counter left hook. Charles regroups quickly. Tate opens up with a 1-2. Could this be the last? They exchange and land. Tate, could this be his last hurrah? He's nailed with a counter right hand by Charles. His knees buckle again. Newman looking on. 35 seconds left. They throw again. Charles lands. 20 seconds. Down goes John Tate.
1,
Newman.
2, 3.
The count is 4. Tate is up. He will take the mandatory 8 count.
7.
A good counter and combination drop Tate. Newman lets the fight continue, and there's the bell. John Tate goes down from countering blows on the inside. He had just landed a decent combination, tried to follow it up, and he got caught on the button and down he went. And to his credit, John Tate was up at the count of 4, took the mandatory 8 count. Randy Newman, with a clock in his head, sensing the round coming to an end, is giving John Tate what I thought another opportunity. As he let it go, he could have stopped it there, but the bell did sound. So after 7, that is a 10. You could give that a 10-7 round possibly. I'm going to go 10-8 Charles. It's been all Ezzard Charles since that huge first round by Big John Tate. We could quickly go to the John Tate corner. And again, you know, the swelling on that eye hasn't gotten that worse. It's 54% still. So Tommy Gallagher, hats off to him. Good job in that corner, keeping that swelling under 60%. But that has really hindered Big John Tate. Again, it looks like he gave everything. He gave his all in that first round. He shot his load, as they might say. And now he's a human punching bag. He did rally a bit. No oomph on his punches, though. Not like round 1. Jesse Reed, do you want to go on, John? John again nods his head. Again, they got to be thinking in that corner. Their fighter's taking a hellacious beating. We now move to the Ezzard Charles corner. Ray Arcel is telling Ezzard he still has a little bit in him. Don't get lackadaisical, champ. Don't get lackadaisical. Do what we train for. Don't get lazy in there. I know you're not, champ, but just let's not take it for granted. Charles nods his head. Freddie Brown gives him a swig of water, working some light end swell. Again, nothing in the Ezzard Charles corner when it comes to nicks, cuts, bruises, or abrasion. Nothing out of the ordinary, just the normal wear and tear in a pugilistic contest. Scorecard 10-8 Charles due to the knockdown. So after 7 rounds complete, Mike Hansen for Title Bout Championship Boxing, 69 Charles, 63 John Tate. We know Tate is totally exhausted, swelling. He's in bad shape. Charles landed 36 punches, so his punch rate is slowing down just a bit as he's getting tired from hitting this big man. And Tate actually landed 18 punches. He did show a little more enthusiasm as they went toe-to-toe, trying to muscle Charles to the ropes. We prepare for round number 8. Does Tate catch a second win, or does he go down for a second time? Most likely the latter. Here's the bell, round 8. Charles and Tate meet in the center of the ring once again, and they tie up a little. Both fighters seem a little tired. Obviously, Tate's very tired, and battered. 1-2, a slow 1-2 by Tate, misses, and he is nailed by a 4-punch combination. The Cobra strike was there. The Cincinnati Cobra looking to end it, as now he backs up looking to catch Tate coming in. As Tate trying to load up, he's going for it all in this round, and as he loads up, he is getting nailed by Ezzard Charles over and over again. Right hand, right cross, left to the body. They tie up. Newman breaks him. He looks at Tate. I don't know what he's waiting for to stop this fight. And again, Ezzard Charles lands a beautiful counter right hand. That swelling is horrible. Both fighters throw and miss. And down goes Tate from the counter right. He was coming in trying to load up.
2, 3,
Newman
4,
picks up the count at 4 from the
6,
timekeeper.
7,
8. Tate's up at 8. 27 seconds left. Tate is dazed. Charles going towards him, trying to load up, missing. Now he had a bat. His knee's buckled. And there's the bell. Oh, only the bell saved John Tate. That's the only thing that saved John Tate was the bell. As his bell was rung over and over again. And Jesse Reed should stop this fight in his corner. As there are fans yelling from ringside to stop the fight. Ezzard Charles just staring at Randy Newman, wondering why the fight has not been stopped. And I'm going 10-7 for that round. Charles, 10-7. So after 8 rounds of a beating, actually 7 rounds of a beating, round 1 was big for Tate. And Mike Hansen also gives round 8 a 10-7. As I did. He now has Charles up 79-70 by 9 points. We're going to go to the Tate corner. That's swelling 63%. The stoppage is near, my friends. The stoppage is near. It has been, he's been a human punching bag. He tried to go for the KO in the last round. He has nothing on his punches. His punches are slow and ponderous. Charles beats him to the punch, and the man who is 30 pounds lighter, an all-time great Ezzard Charles, is just taking it to Big John Tate. Again, Charles a huge favorite. Disregard the discrepancy in height and weight. The Cincinnati Cobra has been striking. We go to the Ezzard Charles corner. And Radar Sells says just keep up the good work. You're going to have to keep chopping down that tree until the tree falls or they stop it. Punch stat numbers. 42 punches landed by Ezzard Charles. You can see, look at that. That swelling is horrible up there. Bright red. That eye is practically, it is in all facts and factuality, in my opinion, that eye is closed. He really can't see much of anything. Why Randy Newman lets this beating go on, I do not know. Why the doctor lets it go on, I do not know. Even the fans at ringside want to see this end. Endurance gone for Tate. And he landed nothing. He landed nothing when I could have sworn he landed some punches. I saw him land some punches. But they're going to say they were not scoring blows, so that makes it even worse. We prepare for round 9, and I believe this will be the end. Round 9. Tate very slow in that center of that ring. Both fighters throwing. Tate actually got the little better of it. As Tate trying to load up. Both fighters on the inside going for that big knockout, trying to get that space. Charles letting his hand. Tate again comes back, showing tremendous heart. Both fighters are tired. Charles tired from hitting Tate. Tate tired from being beaten like a piñata. But now Charles letting his hands go. He's getting in a rhythm here. A minute 20 to go in round number 9. Will Tate survive another round? I almost hope not. A minute to go. And down goes Tate for a third time. That was a combination ending with the uppercut snapping Tate's head.
5.
Newman picks up the count at 6. Tate trying to get up, and he's up at the count of 9. Charles swarming him. He's all over him. Tate badly hurt. Newman down he goes.
2.
Newman again picks up the count. He should just stop it.
5.
Tate
7.
Trying to get up.
9.
He will not. The fight is over. The fight is over. John Tate goes down thuddingly twice in round 9. The ringside physician comes in to administer help to John Tate. Tommy Gallagher and Jesse Reed are in the ring. The winner by devastation and moving on to round 2 of this heavyweight tournament is Ezzard Charles. That was an annihilation. After that big round, John Tate went for it all in round 1. He had Charles badly hurt, and that was it. Big John Tate had nothing more to give except to take a beating.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have your decision.
Tate is up on his feet. He seems okay. He will be having a nice visit to the hospital. That was brutal, as they say. As Alan Shaw says, brutal. D. Scott Howard says, finally. Ron from Retro Sports Network says, one-sided as you can get. And J.D. poor Tate, that was beating from hell. Wow, yes, and that's about how I expected it. It was interesting that the computer chose, and that was, to jump on Ezzard Charles right away. And Tate had a huge first round, and it was, as they say, a slippery slope downhill from there. And the beating that he took. So let's just go. We don't need the final scorecard because it's unofficial anyway. Michael Buffer with the announcement of what we just saw, and that was a massacre, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, the time of the stoppage of the knockout at 2:56 of round number 9, the winner, and moving on to the second round of the heavyweight championship tournament, Ezzard Charles, the Cincinnati Cobra. So Ezzard Charles' record will improve now. We'll have his real record plus the sim record, and we'll get to that in a moment. Ezzard Charles scored 4 knockdowns against John Tate. He landed at 70%, 70.2%. That is incredible. He landed, what was that, 54 punches or 60? I have to go back and look. That's the most punches I've ever seen in title bout. As John Tate did his best punching bag imitation. Total punches landed for Charles, 366. Tate landed 91. Charles landed approximately 40 punches around. Tate landed approximately 10. Punches thrown, 521 for Charles, 270. It was a beating. Only round 1 where Tate went for it all to try to depart Ezzard Charles from his senses. Other than that, when it didn't happen, and he could not duplicate the same feat in round 2. In fact, Charles came out and right away dictated the pace and hit him, hurt him, and it spelled doom for John Tate. Let's, for ha-ha's sake, go to the official scorecards. And they all gave John Tate round 1, and then every round after to Ezzard Charles. Mickey Van, before the knockout, had it 79-71 Charles, and he's from England. Larry Hazard of the United States had it 79-70 Charles, and Tony Perez from Puerto Rico had it 79-71 Ezzard Charles. No shock there. It was a disturbingly hellacious beating, but that is boxing at times. I felt the corner should have stopped the fight, but instead, John Tate took an unnecessary beating at the end, as he was knocked out in the 9th. Let's go back to the fighters and update their records now. So Ezzard Charles, with his real record and the sim record combined, is now 96 wins, 25 defeats, 1 draw, and 53 by knockout. And he advances to round 2 of the tournament. We do not yet know his opponent. And again, it'll be randomly drawn when we do get to round 2. And John Tate is out of the tournament as he is knocked out in the 9th. His record combined with the sim now is 34 wins, 4 losses, no draws, and 23 knockouts. I'd like to say thank you to JD, as he said should have been stopped in the 7th round. I agree. Thank you to Bubba Husky. Thank you to Jake Cruz. I'm sorry he just jumped in. I see him. Thank you very much. Alan Shaw, reporting from across the pond. He says, brutal fight. Thank you for stopping by. Ron from Retro Sports Network, who just loaded up. JD has a Red Dead Redemption video up. Check that out. Ron has loaded up how to load up stadiums in Action PC Football. Thank you, Ron Juckett, for stopping by. D. Scott Howard, good friend of the channel. Thank you. I missed that goat story, D. Scott. I watched it over. I saw that, so we're going to have to do that again. Arnold Hunter, thank you very much. He says, having fun watching. I greatly appreciate that. Again, this is a sim, folks. You know, if you're watching later, it's just a sim. We do this, you know, we don't know how this would really happen. We're doing this for an interest and some fun. Phantomatic, thank you very much. Check out that channel. Don Lonsdale, thank you. We had a fun time. Johnny Be Crazy, thank you very much. Check out his channel. Zoe Cunningham, thank you. The Original Grognard, thank you. Military Strategy channel, another wonderful channel. All good, fine channels and commenters in the chat. Wonderful community we have. And if you'd like, come join us. It's always a lot of fun. So thank you very much. Watch out for those big left hooks. And in the case of Ezzard Charles, watch out for that counter right hand that he thudded John Tate over and over again. But he did take him out with the uppercut, I believe, at the end, snapping his head back and sending him down to the canvas for a 10 count in round number 9. So health and happiness as John Tate was knocked out in our bout here today. Watch out again for that big left hook. God bless. You know what's coming, folks. Peace!